So let me just say this. I just had someone steal, this is an account with like maybe 1.5 million. They stole a tweet from me, I want to say a week ago, and they sell things. It's just like a clothing brand. So when they stole it, I was just, I'm trying to be more zen about it and be like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't, who cares? And I didn't do anything. And then they just stole it. They stole another one. And so I'm like, no, I tried to reward you with not pestering you about stealing one. And instead you pushed my limits, and now you did another, and now I'm gonna come at them. Now I'm like, oh, you
get the legal team on board.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm like, no.
Call up Morty, call up Herschel, Finkelstein, get them all down here.
That's it. You're getting the whole
every Jewish person you know.
I will lose money on this.
I mean, it's definitely a shitty situation. I can't believe that companies just do that. It's crazy. Like, it's bananas. Have you ever overreacted though and then been embarrassed? Like, somebody took my tweet, like
just in general, or
just in life. Oh my God, no! I would have the longest possible list. No, somebody just took my tweet. It was like a meme account, and I sent them this really angry DM. I was just like, "Why would you do this?" Like expecting no response, and I immediately got a response, and they were like, "I'm so sorry. Like we couldn't find your handle," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Don't worry about it. I was just,
yes,
that used to. You guys are great. I love you.
I love you. I love you so much.
I love your work.
Anyway, sorry to rant about that. How's everyone doing?
No, good. Excellent. How's life in your white void?
I know. That's what it all feels like. It all feels like a large white void.
It does. I found a huge spider in my apartment, and
I saw that.
The scariest fucking thing I've ever seen. And
so wait, can you show us? Can you go show it? Oh, well, I guess it's just for the YouTube people, but you got to see this thing. You have like a contraption.
It's still trapped?
Right? I can't really show it.
It's still trapped?
It's in a cup. So just picture just a cup just taped to the wall. And then there's just like this like ominous shadow inside the cup of like a huge spider. And I'm not afraid of insects. Kind of something I'm proud of is that I just like don't get squeamish about insects.
Me neither.
And also New Yorkers, we're used to it. It's like once you've had like more cockroaches than like roommates, like you're just so used to having cockroaches around at a certain point. You're just like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do? Plus you're just like a flat bug. You don't bite, you don't murder. Like, you know,
that's kind of it. Yeah.
You're gross. But this spider, I was like, this looks like a fucking murdery spider. Like this is like a scare. This is the kind of spider that like looks like it has death in its eyes. So I just trapped it under a cup. But honestly, it was the most exciting thing that's happened to me in like a week. I was nice great. My heart started racing.
It's nice to get the heart rate up. No doubt about it.
And I'm like tired and cranky today. And Sundays are depressing. And I just was like, love a little adventure, like anything to spice up my core.
Yeah, you have like a ongoing hostage situation in progress in your own apartment.
Exactly. It's developing. It's like I'm getting feedback from different people about what I should do.
So what are people thinking? What are the main approaches? Like slide a piece of paper? Most people think that I should like take it outside because it's, first of all, I'm not huge on murdering insects unless you have. I'm not huge on murdering animals. I'm like
huge on murder. I could go either way. It really depends.
I'm one of those people. I'm not really into murder.
I'm a murder agnostic. I don't want to come out for it or against it.
If it's a weekend in the Hamptons and we're taking down a boar as a family, I'm fine with it.
I take a picture and that's it. Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with like if it's a weekend in the Hamptons and you're going to like, murder like the evil CEO of a company. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I know she's really going there. But yeah,
could argue they are wild animals. So.
Or a boar, just like a boring.
A boar.
Who's just like can't stop talking about the weather.
Clearly, I haven't been to the Hamptons. I have no clue what goes on there.
It's a lot of it's a lot of boring. I went one weekend. It was like the worst. This is such a luxury problem, but it was truly the worst weekend of my life when I went to the Hamptons.
Wait, why? Tell us everything.
Oh God, I feel bad because I went with like a group of people, and it was.
Right, we don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to like throw anyone under the bus, but I just never felt so deeply alienated. I was I have nothing in common with any of these people. I don't know what I don't know how to talk to these people. It was like so disconnected from reality. And not that I'm like the most intellectual person, but it was just like, I just felt very out of place and I hated every second of it. It was the summer and I could barely afford it. I had saved up all this money and spent on this like Hampton share with friends. And I just like, it was so traumatic that I like stopped talking to those friends like afterwards. I was just like, I can't even, I'm like haunted by this whole experience.
Were they Hamptons people?
I guess a little more than I realized, but it wasn't like they were nice people. It wasn't like nobody did anything wrong. It was just like, I just felt, you know, when you just realize like, oh, I don't fit. This is not for me.
And I think like as someone with fucking bad depression, like if there's nothing that really can send me into like I've had to leave stuff like that too, because I'm like, this is reminding me of a feeling I had when I was deeply depressed and I can't afford, I've left places because I'm like, I literally can't afford to be here because it will send me into a spiral.
That's it.
Like we've found our people. We know what we like. We like being alone. We like being with comedians. We have our friends. We have our world. And if I'm outside of that for too long, it is dangerous. And I have to just be like, yeah.
Does it remind you of when you were a little kid and you were at a sleepover and like the energy's off? Like this, it's like the wrong snacks or someone looks at you wrong and you're just like, I gotta get out of here or I'll die.
Literally. And like, you know, we've talked about this, but it's like, I left every sleep. I don't remember staying at a sleepover. I called my parents after almost all of them in the middle.
Honestly, a lot of my closest friends, I feel we share this like similar experience of getting picked up at sleepover. It's like I think you're just like when you're like a sensitive soul as a child and you're just, you need like your comfort of home.
I feel like I've told this on every podcast I've ever been on, but I left like my prom. Like I left a prom, like I call like junior, senior fucking prom. And it was like 3 a.m. and I was like, I'm out. And I just called my parents like, I got to get out of here. Like everyone's sleeping over, like my date, I don't even remember who they were. And just being like, no, it's time to go.
That's so funny, Alyssa. That's where we part ways, I think, because I was at that point, alcohol was involved. So like I had prom at my house, like the post-prom party at my house. And I was like, I remember I was like 12 beers deep.
Wait.
But it's probably the same thing. Like that's probably just how I was coping with like
of course.
feeling that you just described. And if I hadn't been drinking, I would have, I mean, I still, when I go to parties, now that I don't drink, I always have that moment where I'm like, I need my dad to come pick me up.
Totally. Wait, quick question.
And then I call the Uber driver dad and he's like, don't do that.
Yeah. Well, then you're like, I'll tip you. And he's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Wait, Anosh, aren't we supposed to be having headphones? Did we have that issue last week?
Oh yeah. Yes, correct.
May, is there any chance you have headphones by chance?
I have tons of headphones.
Perfect.
All right.
Why is that, Anosh? What is the technicality behind that?
Because if you're talking into a microphone and you're hearing everything that's coming out of your computer, then the sound of your computer goes into your microphone. It records the echo that just came out of your.
Oh, that'll do it.
Okay, I'm gonna get headphones. So sorry about that.
No worries.
May, looks like people are gonna be shutting off our podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I went on and on about the importance of sound.
Yeah.
Lecturing Alyssa.
If you just wait for 10 minutes in, the audio gets much better.
Also, Lord knows I'm going to get anxious about all of my meme talk, so maybe we can just cut some of that out. I'm okay.
Oh, yeah, true.
You said it was mean.
What'd you say?
You said nothing that was mean.
Well, that's not how my brain works, May. My brain has a different sort of way of...
I've sensed that from you with like things you're like, oh, what if I said something with like you don't want to tarnish a relationship.
That's right. Everything could be money. Everything could be a partnership, and we must be there.
It's so funny.
May, we had when I said you were putting headphones in, but you were like, you didn't say anything mean. And I was like, but that's not the way my brain works.
I know, but
the content of what was said doesn't really matter as much as the trouble of
I don't want to lose that sleepover convo because that was good. And the Hampton stuff.
No. I just mean during the meme aggregating conversation. I feel like we could probably cut after we do the like lawyer riff and just get out.
Sure.
I'm fine with losing some of the meme stuff. We must save the sleep
world. We whatever.
Totally. The
lawyer riffs are fun, and then we get back to what the heart of the matter. Oh my God, Anosh, we have exciting news for you. Once Chris gets off, we'll tell you we have a new potential name.
Oh,
We're shifting. We're making changes in choir. Okay, so I was.
Wait, everybody clap. 1, 2. What if I just said everyone clap?
For the nurses.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
What? I'm so bad at following directions.
Clap ever.
All right, let's try it again.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you're gonna say 1, 2, 3, and then we'll clap all just one time. Ready?
He didn't specify how many times.
I know.
No. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. We're good.
Are we Anosh? Are we good?
I think we have to be.
Sorry.
Let's try one more time. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try leading us in it. And I'm gonna try switching it to 3, 2, 1. I think psychologically it's gonna help. Okay.
Count down. Some urgency.
Yes. 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Oh! Every time one of us, Liz.
I think there's a lag. It makes it a little hard.
Yeah, it's the time difference in San Diego. Like you guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, San Diego to me is below Texas. San Diego to me
now,
is
if a Canadian
Florida.
is in a different time zone, but it's not in Canada, what time is it?
Yeah, wait. Do you still honor Canadian time?
I do.
Also, does Canada have the same Mother's Day? Oh no, that's probably a dumb question.
We don't have mothers in Canada. We are all bred in jars.
That makes sense. Yeah, of course it does. But
it's true. You
it
never know.
has a different Thanksgiving, but that's because Thanksgiving is supposedly a specific holiday about an event, a specific massacre that we're
it was because
celebrate with turkey.
It was because Wayne Gretzky discovered Canada at a different time than the Pilgrims discovered America, or whatever the story is.
Yeah, whatever the old tale is. Okay, so wow.
How's everyone's week?
What else? Good. I went live every day this week thanks to Anosha's great poster and May's great attendance at my lives.
They were really fantastic. They were so fun.
I got a couple.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I have something else I want to talk about instead. The lives were fun. But I had an audition yesterday, which was why we had to cancel yesterday and do today. And it was the first time, like usually for, commercial auditions, it's sort of like there's one big hub that in LA that like you go to a lot. So sometimes like, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, I'm in this like same place, seeing the same faces. And since the pandemic, we haven't done that. It's just been all self-tapes. So they make you self-tape your thing and send it in. And yesterday, for the first time in 2 months, I had like a Skype audition with the casting director. And I swear to God, it was like crazy how comforting and like wonderful it was to see his face. And we're obviously not, it's usually just it's not like we talk a lot. We go in, we do the audition, but it just kind of made me be like, wow, we are experiencing like a crazy amount of loss right now. Like, cause the feeling of like you don't even realize it, but then the feeling of seeing him, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, I feel like we've been in such survival mode. But then when I stop to think about all the, like the normalcy of we're experiencing a lot of trauma that I think we don't even realize yet.
I mean, I was literally excited to have a spider in my apartment. That's how lonely I feel we are. Like humans are not meant to be isolated from each other. We're like communal creatures.
Yes.
And creatures of routine. So not only are we more isolated, but our routines have been dressed.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I think because of our business, like we're not like the only way that we see people is through auditions and podcasts and shows, and all that stuff is like gone right now. So
I know.
Did you feel that way with the casting director? Because did you know him?
No, I'm telling you, I don't even like, it's so weird. It's like, I do know him.
Right.
Like, I know him because, you know, I read with him a lot and he's funny and he's like, you know, he's someone that I see often, but we both, I was like, it's so good to see you. And he was like, I got to tell you, I told my fiance, it's so nice to see these people that I'm used to seeing all the time. So I think it was less of like, it was so nice to catch up with him and more just like the idea of seeing this person, it kind of like jarred me back to like, oh fuck, we've lost a lot, like by and who knows when it will be. Like, I don't think there's going to be a time when there's 30-40 people in a casting room. It's just not
like
going to
little
work that way.
rooms, those hubs of people just like sitting in a circle breathing
and like close exactly, and close to a camera and close to a microphone. It's like
you're touching the door every 2 seconds. It's just like
getting getting like them telling me stop, you know, like the them telling you, you're doing too much, you know.
Right. The amount of spit that flies out during an audition
flies out when they panic and say no, stop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, go ahead.
There must be benefits too to that, to doing it in a different way.
Absolutely. I think like logistically, I don't mind the way almost anything is being done right now. I think it's very efficient and I respect like getting to turn my thing on, do the audition, turn it off. I am like, this is a great way to do auditions. But it was more just the feeling of like, oh, I miss like, it's just weird to not see the people at the diner you go to or the cafe or like, you're right. We're creatures of like seeing familiar. It's kind of like when we first moved to LA, the feeling of like, oh God, I don't know any faces. It's like part of being a human is like, it's nice to every day see faces.
Yeah. All those little background characters of your life that you don't, those are the ones that hit you the most when you see them and you're like, oh, that's the coffee shop girl or whatever. Like,
I think that was it.
Like that was another lifetime ago.
I think that was it. Cause it's like, of course I still see close friends and family, but yes, someone who it's like, I don't even think about, you know, it's not
you're not going to be like, it's Thursday night. Let's Zoom.
Let's Zoom the barista. Yeah. It's like, yeah, exactly.
No, that's
we don't have that relationship. Yeah.
That's how I feel. I've been crying a lot. I cry so much. Do you guys cry? I know we've talked about this before, but I cry at every Hulu ad. I'm like, what?
Well, they're really hitting us with it. I mean,
that's their intention. Yeah.
Which one, May? Because I bet I know it. Which one?
They're all the same. They're all like, they all begin with like, just because we're socially distancing doesn't mean we have to be alone. And then the music starts, it's like da 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 da, and then you see like the different Zoom windows, and you're just like, oh my God, you're right, we're not alone.
I know. And then they're like, Handmaid's Tale, imagine a better world.
Yeah, or just like, you know, buy this prescription drug and like you'll feel better, like whatever they're selling you. I'm like, I don't care. I know that this is capitalism at its absolute worst. But just the feeling of being seen is like, it's so, but yeah, there's this woman who works at the newsstand near my apartment, and I didn't realize it, but she was really like a comfort, like an emotional support person for me whenever I was feeling really sad, because it's open late by LA standards. It's open till like midnight. And I would just like go and hang out with her, and she's been through a lot. She's had like a really hard life, and just talking to her, and she loves Tilly, and just talking to her would always put things in perspective for me, but also just make me feel seen. And I haven't gone to see her because I'm just so scared that I like don't even go. First of all, I don't go on that street anymore, but I'm just so scared that the newsstand's not going to be there or she's not going to be there, that it's like, I'm too scared to even check.
I get that.
But I should, because if she is there, if she's still working, she probably would really appreciate the contact.
Totally.
But
no, it's crazy. I mean, you're
right.
I
miss her.
Of course you miss her. It's like, yeah, it's like I went to Bluestone every day. It's like their coffee's good, but I went because it was nice to like see the same faces, and like there's something really
they
nice
love you. Every time I go in with Alyssa, they're like, would you like this free cappuccino? Like, please, you're here. Like,
I know. I think that people, I know. I think a lot of people in LA, I feel, make their coffee at home. So they were like, we have an irresponsible buyer. Let's hold on to her. Yeah.
And you just have a good energy compared to a lot of the people that.
I think all the statuses have been abolished with people. Like, you know, that's the thing with like, even with like casting director,
that's
actor,
so,
you know how you never see like the casting director who's casting it until like you get to like a callback or a second callback or whatever.
Yes.
And now like everyone's in the same level, and it's like there's no status thing like, all right, the actors, or there's no like the newspaper lady, or nobody's walking up to the newspaper like, give me the newspaper. You don't talk to them, you don't say hi or whatever. Now everyone's just in the same vulnerable boat.
So true. The only thing with status is the virus. It's like the virus is like is the 1%, and we're all now the 99%.
We're all getting the virus coffee. Like it's true.
That's the status thing is really, really it, where it's like all the fakeness of like, we are all just like, I've had meetings and I'm like, have we talked about this on here before? I'm not sure, but like the idea of not having to like go into a building and validate and go up to a big fancy office with big signs. It's like, that's a lot of intimidation. Walk into someone's office where they have this big like window. Now it's like, we're Zooming, I'm Zooming. Do we each have something the other person could benefit from or not? Okay. It was nice talking to you. Like
That's
it really,
true.
it definitely brings it takes away all the like,
Even when you see celebrities like on Zoom, even if their apartments are nicer than ours, you're still on Zoom. You still have a delay, like there's still, you have the same technical problems that we have.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
You can't hide behind your perfect network now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're the same as them. They're literally Skyping like on their like 100-foot pool that's like half of their backyard. These houses are crazy.
It's true. Celebs have a very different experience of quarantine, but they don't have a different Zoom. Like there's something about
that's
like
it.
the
I agree.
Zoom just puts you like, so it just like pairs you down in that moment.
It really does. It really does.
Things.
We do have our guest in the waiting room.
Come on.
I'd like to bring him in. Let him in.
Speaking of absolute celebrities.
I mean, truly, and this person is an icon. So funny. I've never met him in real life, but I'm just in awe of him every day on Instagram and Twitter.
He's the funniest person I think in the world. Let's have him enter.
There
Christopher Burns.
Chris Burns.
Chris Burns with the C. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Look at this.
Everybody has such bright, beautiful backgrounds.
Welcome to LA, bitch. We're not on the East Coast anymore.
Yeah, he has books, a thing that we don't have in LA.
Yeah, you guys might have, brains.
We have white walls and sunlight. But
yeah, I just have my John Grisham collection.
And you're truly with a straw.
And my Happy Mother's Day, bitch.
Oh my God. How's it like? What's it like being, so you're back in your childhood home, is that right?
Yes, I am. For 2
how
full
is that
months.
How is it, I imagine a Mother's Day is like, it probably feels like, I don't know, being in high school or something again, like giving your mom breakfast and
just giving her like a coupon for one free hug.
Yeah, no, it really does, especially because I haven't been home for Mother's Day probably since I moved to the city.
I bet.
You
also probably had to work, I feel like I had to work brunch because we both worked in
oh yeah
hip restaurants.
Up until 6 months ago I was still working in restaurants, which thank God, because if that was the case now I would be
you really did get out just in time. Wow.
Truly
Kind of close.
Truly it's not sponsored.
Unless they want to sponsor.
Fine. Unless they want to, yes. It's been surprisingly fine. I thought it was going to be high school again, but both my parents are retired now, so they're different people than when I was in high school.
Totally.
So it's no one really gives a shit about anything, so that's kind of been...
Yeah, the stress, the chaos level's probably less. It's everyone's not I gotta get to work.
Yeah, literally, it's just they hang out and live. It seems amazing. But yeah, I feel the walls are kind of closing in because I'm working in my childhood bedroom and then obviously spending all my free time in here also.
Yes.
But could be worse.
Totally. Wait, do you have any siblings?
I have an older brother and a younger brother, but they both don't live here anymore and they have their own houses.
Yeah.
So they've stopped over for backyard things. They're coming for dinner tonight in the yard.
Fun.
Even though it's 51 degrees, but it's fun.
You got to do it for the Mother's Day.
But yeah, so that's also been I'm living my only child fantasy for the first time.
That's true.
And when I was in high school, I shared a room with my little brother. So it's this is the first time I'm 30 and I'm like, this is my own room now.
This race car bed is all mine, finally.
It's literally nothing like when I lived here because they turned it into a guest room. So
yeah, I mean, it looks definitely, it looks very adult, which is nice. At least you're not like you get to Zoom and you kind of look like newscasters with their little bookshelf. You don't look like you're in like light
blue. You. I wish I had smarter books than John Grisham, but that's the only books here. The second shelf's Harry Potter. So
yeah.
it's like
Which Harry Potter is, I mean, it's got layers to it. Those are complex.
Haven't read
books.
it. Haven't read it.
I haven't read it either, actually.
Oh!
But I am thinking about doing that because I'm like, when else will I? But it's been 2 months. I still haven't. So
yeah, I'm kind of the mind where I'm like, if I have kids one day, I'll wait till then. I might as well just wait at this point and read it then.
That's my friend has a baby and she has read like the first 3 books because she realized, she was like, I'm reading the book. She has no idea what I'm saying anyway, so I might as well read something.
Totally.
But she didn't want to go as far as to do like 50 Shades of Grey.
Erotica.
So she did Harry Potter.
Right. Yes.
So,
that kid would be so fucked up.
and she's like the type that I'm like surprised she didn't just go with it. So I'm happy to hear she's reading Sorcerer's Stone.
Happy Mother's Day to her. For
Happy
making
Mother's Day.
Against, yes. That's what being a mother is. Going against what you want to do for the kid.
Precisely.
Truly. Oh my God. I mean, do you like how is being an only child so far? Because I am an only child, and my whole life I just wanted an older sibling and a younger sibling. I just was like, what a dream!
You want to be in a sibling sandwich.
See, the grass is always greener.
Really.
I think it's been. I also feel so different than when I was living here.
True.
Because it's like I moved out when I was 22, but like I was away for college, obviously, and then I came back for like 2 months. So like my biggest memories are being like in the closet in high school. So it's like kind of nice to not be that now while I'm here.
Totally.
And when my brothers stop over, I'm like, what are you doing here? Get out of the house. Like, it's like, I'm kind of living the fantasy. And like, my dad is insisting on doing the laundry because he thinks I'll break the washing machine, like things like that.
Your dad and you's dynamic is so fucking funny. I want you guys to have a podcast thing. They like kind of rib that you guys like rib, or your dad like makes fun of you in a way that's very ribby with yes.
Like he'll literally just come up behind me and whisper douche in my ear as he walks by. It's like
that's like a real
but
life.
it's, you know,
Maze, you got me crying.
I'm so emotional. All I ever wanted was my dad to call me a douche. Never did.
So that's actually been really nice because it's different than it used to be. And so, I mean, and obviously I am not the sweetest to him, but it's like now we both realize the other one is funny, whereas in high school it was like, I hate you and you hate me, and now it's like, it's funny that I'm calling you a fat bitch at dinner, you know?
Yeah, that's the beauty of comedy. It's mostly just hate, but if you add a little bit of a punchline, the line between hate and humor is thin. Yeah,
it's fine.
That's interesting because it's like, I feel like in a weird way, maybe this, I don't know if this is right, but because you feel so different and because you're, you know, out now, that maybe it's like easier to not regress into like old habits because you're like, no, I'm so different than that person. It's not like I'm going to, now I'm back to who I was. Cause you're like, that was such a different, not me version anyway.
Yeah. And I think cause like the room's so different and because for work, I didn't realize I would be coming here for, you know, as long as I did.
Right.
So I had to get a bunch of like dresses and wigs delivered to my parents' house for work for like videos. So like I was like, I can't have any anxieties around this anymore because it'll just make life a nightmare.
Totally.
So things have really gotten pretty open and like my mom helped me like zip up my dresses for a video the other day. You know, I'm like, how far we've come.
I love that.
Me too.
It's been nice. Although I did read today that they're saying a lot of media companies won't be back in the office for like till 2021.
Yeah, that's Facebook and Google, I think, just said that.
So we'll see.
Do you miss office life? Are there things that like you,
No, I don't. But I miss like my friends in the city. I miss performing. I miss, and I feel like I had a lot of things lined up like that were finally things I wanted to be happening, and they all were booked, and then this happened. So I'm like,
No,
well,
didn't
shit.
you say that too? I feel like you said that. You were like, I feel like we were like things were just in place.
Yeah, things were all just coming together, and I had 1 month, just a 1 month taste of it, and I was like, I made it. I grew up, and then it all got stripped away,
No.
and now I'm trapped in a white void.
Yeah,
those are the people this is worse for. My
Yeah.
life was in shambles, so in a way, it's like I had nothing to lose.
But now I'm totally used to this. Now I'm like, almost in a bad way, I'm so comfortable with it that the other day, some place that I sort of do some work for, they're starting their office up again, not going into the office, but they're getting back to life. And they were like, yeah, so we'll just, we're going to hit the ground running. We'll just hop on a phone call on Monday. And I was like, well, we're just going to hop on a phone call. But then how are we just going to, how there's people dying out there? Like, I was like, I was like, how are we going to do this?
No, I know it's going to be hard because it's like, yeah, we've gotten used to it, and I can't imagine not doing it.
That's what I feel like. There's been a lot of, also it's nice to be able to like go for a drive here because I left the city, so I've been like taking my dad's car and listening to my old Shania Twain CD.
Me too. Okay,
clear my head.
You love pop, you love country, you love 90s country too.
Yeah, of course.
Is she the pinnacle of 90s country?
I would say she's up there.
Lover?
Yeah.
I would say she's my pinnacle. She was the first concert I ever went to when I was like 7. My aunt took me to Shania Twain at the Pepsi
She's Canadian
Arena.
royalty, by the way.
Oh, right.
I know. People always forget that she's Canadian.
I forget. I know she's Canadian, Chris. Our
we take any opportunity to tell people.
It's the most interesting thing about the three of us. Yes. We have a lot of pride in it.
There's secret Canadians, I feel like. Somebody I saw tweet it the other day was like, yo, there's low-key Canadians everywhere. And I'm like, that's kind of true. I'm always surprised to find out people are Canadian. Yeah.
Justin Bieber?
Oh my God. See?
I forget about that and relearn that all the time.
You always forget.
It's just weird to think that people would leave Canada. I think at this, like, especially now.
Oh,
like,
totally.
My Canadian friends are like,
why are you here?
Fuck are you there?
Your president is hot. You have a hot president.
We do.
To me, that's all I'm looking for in a country is just a hot, sexy president.
It doesn't hurt. It does not hurt.
I mean, when Obama was president, people came to the U.S. I was like, yeah, of course you want a piece of this. Like,
yeah. He's not even a president. He's a
reading the news every day, just being like, oh, wow. I love to read the New York Times.
He can prime my minister, am I right?
Yeah, I'll go to church. I'll go to church if he's there. Okay.
That's my understanding of politics. I'm just voting like, which one's hot? I just want to...
Oh, I'll tell you. Well, no, I don't even want to say it. It's too shameful. But I'm glad the voter guides are out. I'll say that.
Yeah, we all are.
I went into my first voting booth thinking like, I know which president I want to vote for. And then I was like, oh my God. There's a lot of categories.
Pulling out your phone in the voting booth.
Yes.
I've done that too. And I'm like, can I get in trouble for this? Am I allowed to have my phone?
Right. It feels like cheating on a test.
You also said you're voting for which president I'm going to vote for, which is already
Anosh, I need you on my side.
Which of the presidents is going to rise to the next level?
Yeah.
Listen, that's the personality that you need, okay? She's already voting with the person being president.
That's right. That's exactly
it. Just visualize them all as president.
Already my president.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that's cool. And so, yeah, I mean,
are you working full time still? Are you doing like a remote job? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
How do you feel like, because we both work in like online media, do you appreciate kind of just having like the structure of a job every day, or do you feel like it's?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I am grateful that I have it. Although sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm working more than I was in the office, because when you're in the office, if you're not sitting there, people aren't constantly like slacking you. They'll look up and be like, he's not here. But now it's like I constantly am available, and if I'm not, people are like, he's not doing his job.
That's true.
And I'm like, before I could not do my job and just like go outside.
Right. And like the
Totally.
idea of showing up to a job and sitting there from like 9 to 5 is like,
Oh.
you can say I've done it, but when you're out, you're constantly trying to prove like I worked a 9 to 5 amount of hours.
Yeah, it's definitely been because I was used to working in restaurants for so long. For like 7 years, I was managing different restaurants. And so then it was definitely an adjustment, I feel like. And for a while, I missed having days off when other people were working.
Oh,
Like I was like, I
that's
would
the best.
gladly work Saturday and Sunday to still have off like a Monday, Tuesday. And
Can I say
also
yes?
for like
Go ahead,
auditions and stuff. So it's
Mhm.
just been, but now, I don't know, I'm just grateful that I'm working.
Do you guys feel this way? Because Anosh, did you ever work in restaurants?
Yeah, like from my first job to the end of college.
Oh my God. Okay.
And a little bit.
Did you guys have this? Because I feel like we're all slightly anxious people. I remember working brunch Saturday and Sunday and feeling like such relief of like, I don't have to make plans on the weekend. Like the idea of being like, I can't make plans. It's no way to live. But for a while I was like, this is nice to not have the social pressure of like the weekend's coming. What if I don't have plans or what am I doing? Oh, I loved that being like, no, I'm working. I can't.
Yeah.
I
and there
still
was,
would rather serve brunch than go to brunch.
100%.
I still cannot sit down at a restaurant during brunch. I can barely go into a restaurant still. If
Yes.
I have to face the wall because I'm like,
Oh,
I feel
it's
the
the
stress of
worst.
everybody working.
Yeah,
If
me too.
I'm with someone who's even the slightest bit rude to like a host, or I'm like,
I know. Especially at
I know.
brunch
It's
too,
over.
because the level of high maintenance is just absurd.
I never hosted.
So
I
true.
think hosting would be,
I hosted.
that's hell. That to me is like, that's so much pressure because everyone's like wanting an answer from you and you have no control. It's just a matter of luck.
But you also have all the control. I loved hosting because I felt like I was like,
but that's a good host. There's two types of people that
Yeah,
there's
I'm evil.
people that can be really good hosts, and there's people that just are not good hosts.
Yeah.
And because like when I would manage, they'd be like, this kid is hosting today, and I'd be like, my day's gonna be a nightmare because this kid is gonna be crying for half of the shift in the bathroom. But then there's the people like that are like, whatever, I don't care, I have the power, fuck you, leave me alone. Like,
Yeah,
and that's the host you want.
Yeah, May, I feel like you'd be great because
I'm a little bit of like a control freak. Also, I was just a really bad waitress because I'm really bad at holding trays and I was constantly dropping things and I was drunk all the time. So it's just not a good combination. So like hosting, I was like good at it and that felt good. It
totally. And the labor of I loved waitressing so much. I'm getting excited thinking about it. Obviously, like it's hell and it's really hard on your body. And I remember when I stopped being like, I hope to never have to do that again because it's really hard. But the feeling of like completion of starting and stopping and delivering and clearing and making people happy. And it's very like
it's a puzzle. It's like a puzzle.
And and if in your head, you like when you got to the point where you didn't have to write anything down and you kind of feel like a fucking magician. Like
I would so much rather go back to, because I like served for 3 years and then started managing and I really hated managing. But like those serving shifts, I'm like, and recently I had left the restaurant and then I'm still like close friends with a lot of the GMs, and one of them called me and was like, everybody's like sick, blah blah, is there any way you can like serve this Saturday brunch? This was like 6 months ago. And I was like, you know what, yeah, I will. And I like am so good at it.
Yes.
And I was like, it just, I think, is also the only time, like a super busy brunch shift, that's the only thing I'm thinking about. So it's like
my brain is
my
shut
meditation.
off.
I'm like, I'm not thinking about anything else except for like the boom, 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 and then
the fucking making sure the egg is
that
on the side of the avocado toast and not on it. Exactly. I think that's it, because we're probably anxious people that there's some like feel it's meditative. That's exactly it. It's the only time where my brain is fully shut off.
Yeah.
And as a people pleaser, I just like loved how happy people were when you bring them food.
But that's why I don't understand how you could be a host, because for me, I'm like, I couldn't disappoint the people. I'd be like, take a table, sit on me, just sit on me. Yeah. I'll bring the food to you.
Yeah, I don't know why I liked it so much, but
there's a satisfying puzzle though about hosting too.
That's
I
true.
feel like.
That's true.
Because it's like Tetris, and you're like, if you do it right, it feels good, and if you do it wrong, you're crying in the bathroom.
Totally.
I mean,
when
I
you're
did
done
every night
too,
at the
it
bathroom.
feels so good to be
when
done.
you're
Like,
rolling, when you're rolling the silverware
Oh.
with your tips next to you. Oh,
Yeah, and there's a pile of weeds behind you and a building on fire, and you're like,
that's what it
fucking
feels
chilled,
like.
man.
You know that I
Yeah.
don't even smoke cigarettes, and after like a busy brunch shift, I'd be outside like smoking a cigarette, just like I'm like, this is who I'm, a 50s diner waitress now. Like, oh, the good old days.
No, that's really how I feel.
that's great.
I was so I swear that like waitressing saved me because I was like truly the most depressed I've ever been, and I couldn't get out of bed and I couldn't do anything for months, and then I got a waitressing job, and I think it's like fake it till you make it. It forces you to see people and talk to people and have community, and before you know it, you're like, oh, I think our heads. It's nice to have active brains, but then your brain can really like turn on you, and waitressing doesn't allow that. It's like, no, you can't.
Mhm.
You have to be right here. Yeah.
It really should be a prerequisite before you enter society to work in a restaurant
True.
for at least a couple months so that you understand the psyche on the other side.
Yes.
Because I still think about like the people's faces who I wronged by being a dummy and forgetting something are burned into my mind. Like,
Totally.
I forgot the strawberry vinaigrette. That person's face is in my head and they're just living their life. They have no idea that I think about them.
Totally.
One time,
And that's why we have them on the line here. Let's bring them in. They're in the waiting room.
They're really
Oh, no,
bad.
not strawberry vinaigrette. No, anything but him.
there was like
ruined our lives, Anosh.
there was 2 different customers that I remember writing down their name off their credit card because they were so terrible that I was like, someday I'm going to look them up on Facebook and message them that they're fucking terrible people. And I remember like their faces. I don't remember where their names are.
God damn it. I was like, that would be, let's do it now.
Right
And I'm like,
now.
someday when I get out of here.
That's the first place I'm going.
I still have the face of people that didn't tip me. Like anyone that left a $0 tip, I remember what they look like. I could give them a police.
We got really good towards the end of my career of being like, it's usually people who don't understand they have to give a tip. And once we saw it, we would go up to them and be like, hey, I'm not sure, but it's usually customary to leave 15 to 20% tip. Is it okay if I circle this one? We were savages. We were like, no. Yeah.
That's how you should handle it. Also, do you guys ever have a friend who you find out is like not a good tipper or not nice to servers? And I'm so mad. I have so much resentment towards people in my life that I know that will tip like regularly 15% instead of 20%.
Me too. I can't handle it.
It makes me want to scream.
It's so bizarre to me. Like, I don't understand that mentality.
Me neither. Well, I think that's it. And I think also it gives you the patience of like, you understand that you really understand how little the waiter is in control. Like you just understand, like, you know that there's been times where you've done everything right and the food still didn't come out. So you're never like going to take it out on a waiter because you're like, oh, this is probably not your fault.
And you know the kinds of people that don't tip. It's never someone who you're like, oh, they seem like they're having financial issues and they just couldn't afford it. It's never those people. It's always the like entitled, shitty.
Totally.
Shitty.
You know, I have a theory that it's really rich people that tip shitty because they don't understand money at all. Like they don't understand that a 15% tip could matter to someone.
That's it, I think.
Never
matters so much. It makes their whole day.
Whereas why
comedy
we
people
that's it.
that I'm sure we all know that I've been like, okay, this person clearly comes from money from the way that I see them behaving in a public space.
That's it. And it's so funny. It's so counterintuitive. But yeah, it's like if you're with someone that leaves a big tip, they probably understand, what that.
It's everything. And it really is personal. Like once you've waited tables, you are every waiter. Like every time you wait, you're like, I am you. We are one.
And I remember every celebrity, like whatever they've ever tipped me. I remember. And I remember once reading a Chelsea Handler quote where she said she always tips 100% because if she doesn't, she's like, I know that if I don't tip amazing, that person is going to tell everyone they know that Chelsea Handler is a shitty tipper.
And they will.
And they will.
She's like the celeb 20% is 50%. And I'm like, amen. That's how you should live.
I think every celebrity was probably, 50 feels right to me.
Once Gerard Butler tipped me 10%. And the manager at the time said like something to him about the tip. And he was like, no, I left what I wanted to. And I remember being like, you little bitch. And I burned all of my copies of 300.
Oh
Multiple
my
coffees.
God.
How? I mean, I will never
Wow.
forget that. Now, every time I
Me
see his
neither.
face, I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna yell at the screen.
Right?
It would be so great if he tipped 300 every time, no matter what.
Imagine.
If that was like a cool Gerard Butler thing.
He just
Okay.
constantly brings back the fact that he was in a movie.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be so good. He'd be
That's
a cool
almost
guy.
worse than 10%. That's almost worse.
Yeah, it's more insulting.
Sad.
Way to make my tip
Yeah,
about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-absorbed.
But don't you feel like it's such a business of extremes too? Because for all of these nice memories, I remember days of just being like I want to burn. I will never
Yes.
come back. Like just the feel. I haven't felt that much like rage also since I've worked it. Because you have bad days there that those bad days sting a lot harder than like a bad day in the office.
Or waking up and it's snowing and you're like, well, I guess I won't make rent today or this month.
Totally.
And you're like,
Like, I
oh,
have
it's
to quit.
January, February, March. I have to stop eating because there's no money. Like,
I know.
it's true. You only remember the good memories. And then if we were to go back in like 3 days, we'd be like, what the fuck?
This is
We
torture. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, do you ever find when you're out with friends at a restaurant, you're like the moderator who wants to smooth everything over with the server if people are kind of not paying attention and she's trying to ask like what your order is,
and you
you're
lock
like, "I'm sorry,
eyes.
I'm totally the friend that's like, Alyssa, she's asking you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Same. I wasn't sure if that was like a people pleaser thing, but you're right. It's like from
I think it's from the
shoes.
Also, doesn't it kind of give you insight into like, I feel like Chris, you do like a Long Island character a lot. I do my mom character a lot. Like I feel like, don't you feel like it gives you some understanding of why families are like why like East Coast energy is like neurotic and like food driven? Because it's like, it comes from a satisfying place of just like wanting to not think and instead just like, I don't know, making shit.
Yeah, no, I think absolutely. I feel like so many of the characters I've done have like been inspired by customers that I've waited on in like masses.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Because there's so like I would literally hear people say things and then like do in like Types of Girls video like verbatim the thing that this girl said. So it's
that's
like
the thing. Comedy is like not real. It's like it's basically verbatim. It's like basically you don't have to heighten much. People are fucking insane. Like
God, that's true. With stand-up too, do you ever do a character where you're just like, it's just a fuck you to someone that like wronged you?
Of course.
Yeah. That's like what so much of comedy is. So much stand-up is just like, I have the power now, bitch.
I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
Totally.
And that's why we're all here.
6 people in a basement.
Yeah, that's why we're all here. Yeah, someone I saw tweet. I wish I remember who, so I don't even want to. But I know. My favorite murder. Who is the
Karen Kilgare?
Who's the? Yes, Karen Kilgare.
So
she tweeted, "Hello, I hope this email finds you like me, filled with vengeance." Driven. I think like I hope this email finds you like me, driven by vengeance. And I was like, God, that's so it. So much of this is just vengeance. Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad and so true.
Wait, Chris, what's the food situation at home? Like, are you cooking at all? Or does your mom cook? Is your dad the cook?
My mom is usually the cook, but like I'm cooking tonight. I do cook.
Nice.
But there's also a lot of nights where it's like, let's just. I again, they're retired and they're very chill. Like I feel like they're secretly.
amazing.
Yeah, they're living the fantasy.
Yes.
So it'll be like 7. I'm like, are you guys eating tonight? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I'll whip something up because it's like I immediately have reverted to being in high school where I'm like, what's for dinner?
What's for dinner? Hello.
I've been working all day.
Oh my God. I really miss I miss takeout. I haven't done takeout. I really miss restaurant food. I'm very bored of myself and the things.
I'm finding it harder to like cook for myself because I'm so like bored of cooking for myself that I'm like, eating, what a chore.
That's what I felt like last night. I really felt, and this is such a fucking privileged thing to say, we're so lucky to have food and we're so, but last night I really was like, I am so bored of I don't even want to do it. It feels like an effort.
Right? Which is, you're right. It's such privileged bullshit.
Yeah,
because then I just ordered Uber Eats, which is
problem solved.
Problem solved.
It's just, so I guess I got to just get over my fear and just order takeout, but I'm still nervous too. And so then everything's so dry. I think I really rely on like the fattiness and like oil of takeout food to sustain me a couple times a week. Without that, it's because you never really put that much oil in your own shit.
No, that's
and
true.
also knowing you have to clean all the dishes after.
It's like not even.
That's where I'm like,
awful.
oh God, I have all this food to make, and there's also a box of cheese. It's like
That's
you
it.
have to clean up after the cheese.
It's all just cleaning and preparing. The actual eating is max 10 minutes, and then
I know.
all this shit around it.
Meanwhile, none of us have anything to do. We have 24 hours a day. We're like, I'm not gonna clean a pot. I can see Anosha's dishwasher. It's like I don't want to load that thing, unload it, forget it.
I have 9 more
Bad
hours.
Planning that I'm going to be hungry, so it's like now I'm starving, and so I have to eat the Cheez-Its because I can't possibly wait to cook something.
Yeah, I'll procrastinate on cooking because I'm too lazy, and then I get too hungry, and now I'm running out of energy. The energy I would have needed to have made the food.
That's
and
it.
I'm going deeper and deeper into just not eating.
Caring for yourself is like a lot of work. It's like I feel like I'm like my own mom right now. And I just have to be like, okay, so you're going to be hungry in 3 hours. So now you have to move the frozen food like into the fridge. So it starts to thaw. Like, it's like a constant process of like planning things around food. It's so dumb.
Totally. I saw that today. Just go ahead, Chris, go.
That's a benefit I feel like I am getting is I'm like, my mom's like, I don't remember the last time I ate breakfast until I came home, and now I'm like, why is there not fruit in the fridge? It took like 3 weeks for me to completely fall back into like regimented meals and things that normally I'm like, I will eat nothing all day, have like 15 cups of black coffee until I'm shaking, and then get home and ravage myself from 7 to 8 p.m.
That's
absolutely. That is absolutely the New York way. That is how I ate
the whole world is
10 years of my life. That's it. That is the exact diet of New York City, is like run on black coffee, the thrilling shakiness of it, and then at night just like eat everything in sight.
I feel bad for the kids of this generation, because we all go home to our parents and we're like, oh man, it's so nice. Like my mom comes in and folds my laundry, or like there's meals every 3 hours, or like, but for our kids, they're going to come back and be like, oh, it's so nice to be at home and eat a box of Cheez-Its after
like, I'm so tired of loaning my mom money. Like,
But I guess she has good backgrounds to take for my Instagram. So that room set up
thanks a lot, grandma, for encouraging her to pursue her art. Now I have to be a fucking lawyer.
Oh, that's so funny. I wonder if we'll change though if we have kids, or I wonder if that's what the cycle is like everyone's like that, and then once you have kids, they require structure, and so then you create structure. But I don't know, it feels different.
I also think it's because of the type of people we are, because I feel like you have friends that are like, oh, my mom's an artist, and then they'll tell you about their childhood and you're like, what the fuck? That's like
that's true. That's
bonkers.
It's like, is that abuse? It's like, no.
Yeah, that's so true. Because like I have a lot of friends who would not relate to the 10 cups of coffee and then eat everything lifestyle.
Right.
I know, you say that to the wrong people and they're like, what? And I'm like, okay.
They're
you don't get it.
Intervention. Yeah.
You don't get it. They're like, no, you don't get it. You guys all have a problem with it.
You're not well. No, it's a New York thing.
They're like, no, that's not a New York thing.
To be young and in New York, we're all in LA and pushing 40.
We're still doing this podcast. We're in quarantine. We're like, the good old
still
year.
In quarantine.
Oh man, I know. I hope that, Chris, do you think that this will change like your life after, like if things loosen up? Do you think you'll move back to New York, or do you think you would consider coming out here?
I mean, I'm still paying rent at my apartment, so that sucks. Like I still have to pay
Wow.
rent. I'm still paying
Fuck.
because my roommates are still there. So I'm still splitting the electric and all of that.
Can you get out of,
Because
when's that lease up or what?
March. Literally
Oh,
re-signed March 1st.
Oh
shit.
no, that's
I know.
brutal timing.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
I obviously
If
have to
anyone's
go
listening
back.
and needs a room, they can sublet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I really, we'll see. It depends. Because I'm like, if I don't have to go back till 2021,
Yeah.
that's insane. And it's also like a lot of the places that I was doing like drag stuff, I'm like, I don't know that this bar is even going to be open ever again.
Yeah.
I know.
True.
So,
it is kind of cool to be like, I have a place in the city. Haven't been there in a while. Just
Yes.
sitting
Yeah.
there.
My other home.
I'm like, my
Yeah.
house in deep Brooklyn is just rotting there.
My summer home.
Well, that's
My
the thing
summer
too.
in
Like once you're comfortable, like you're living in the suburbs, you're used to a car and space. Isn't it kind of like once you leave New York, you kind of are like, wait, how did I live like that? Like the idea of going back to a room in Bushwick is crazy.
Yeah, it feels weird to be like adjusting, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like the first couple weeks here, I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. And now I'm kind of like, good morning. Like,
You're thriving.
So, I don't
A lot
know.
of people are thriving. I had to write an article today, and people were sharing like the benefits of quarantine. And it's sort of un-PC to talk about because you're not supposed to be like, you know what I love about this like global deadly virus, because it's like horrible. But there is a silver lining, obviously. And I just
you
read.
can't just ignore that.
Yeah, you can't not acknowledge that. And a lot of people shared stories of, and I associate, like my mental health has been up and down in quarantine, but a lot of people shared stories of their mental health getting so much better because don't have anxiety. They don't have to deal with like all kinds of like life stressors. A lot of people are saving money, and a lot of people were like quitting drinking, quitting drugs, like getting healthier. You don't read those stories.
You to look at yourself. Yeah, it forces you to like. You can't keep. Yeah, you have to like stop and look at yourself for a second.
Yeah,
I feel like I have been much less stressed out than normal. Like I feel like
Same.
I definitely haven't had the like urge to cry on the train in a while, which is interesting.
Same. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what the future brings.
I was thinking today about how much choice is difficult for me. I have a lot of trouble with choice, and how there's not a lot of like choice right now in our day to day, and that's probably relieved a lot of my obsessions. Like, so I feel probably like my mind's a little bit calmer right now because I'm not obsessing over like, choices.
Yeah.
God, that's so true. And for me, it's like social. I have like a lot of anxiety about social situations and just not having them.
Don't worry about it. Instead of fixing we could have all fixed the problem. Instead, we eliminated the outside world.
All factors. So it's just replaced with existential loneliness, but at least I'm not,
because definitely there are parts of this that are and what we should be as humans, but also it's probably going back a lot to like what like evolutionarily we started as, which is like you can't be super hyper connected. You have like your family unit, you can see a few other people. It's very like basic needs based versus like, we were living in kind of crazy. I don't know.
There is something to be said. And that is I was thinking that when we were talking about waiting tables, that there felt something primal about waiting tables to me.
Yes.
Like this, I don't know why. Maybe my ancestors were waiters. I don't know. But there's just something like, maybe as a woman, like feeding people. I don't know what it was, but I think like when I'm walking around, I'm doing a lot of things at once. It felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing biologically. And now, and now that I'm in my 30s and I'm like in my home, taking care of myself and my dog and like doing like a lot of chores, I feel the same primal, like, this isn't necessarily what I would choose for my life, but my body is like, yes, this is what I craved.
Totally. Yeah.
And two of my best friends from like kindergarten both have babies now. And like the other day, the one had to run and like help her grandmother, and was like, can you come and stay with Natalie for a few hours? And I'm like literally feeding a baby while like working from home, and I'm like, I'm amazing.
Totally.
Renaissance man.
Also,
Meanwhile, she's been doing it like all day, every day for months.
You booked a spa treatment afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm accepting Mother's Day cards.
Smoking cigarettes behind the restaurant. I'm
amazing.
Well, I think we all were also living very like non-adult lives because of comedy. It really creates a weirdly non-adult life, like being out at night, no structure, living like, so there's probably something that feels nice about like, oh yeah, it feels nice to be like having habits that are similar to normal people. We're all kind of back on the same schedule, maybe.
Yeah, and comedy's scary. Like performing is anxiety inducing because there's so much unknown about it. So even just taking out the aspect of like performing every night, like, will people like me? Will this performance go well? So you take away that and it's like, already.
Yeah, I feel like those little adrenaline rushes and those like weird social challenges of like trying to impress people, like whether it be on stage or like even just in like a room of people you're intimidated by, they're gone now, and we're not like experiencing those emotions and those like kind of like hard adrenaline hits where you triumph in weird situations. But now I'm just in my living room like, yep, that was a good egg.
You're just like, good job, and clapping for yourself. Right, you did it. You took a shower.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right,
and
that's the flip side. Go ahead, go.
Oh, so I was just gonna say, like, when you do like an Instagram live or whatever, there's also no like, when you're done, you're done. There's no like, okay, I'm gonna finish the show, then I have to stick around to like talk to these people and then I have to take a 45-minute commute back to the apartment and do all this. Now it's just like, I'm done. I wasn't even wearing pants to begin with.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's crazy. Everything's very efficient now. Yeah, there's no, it's like, that's it.
There's no performance high either. No one's experienced a performance high in the entire world in like 2 months.
I know. Well, that's the flip side of like, the good part is obviously taking out the anxiety. Then the bad part is obviously, depression could follow of like, oh, there's no, like, it's good to get your adrenaline up because then you feel good afterwards. And like, without that, it's kind of like,
And also the comparing yourself to other people. I'm not like, why is this person performing more than I am? Why is this person not asked me to like be on their show? Like things like that. I'm like, I don't even know who they are or where they are. I haven't thought about them in months.
Totally.
Kind of, we were talking about this before, but it's like the great equalizer in a way, like in comedy. Like the virus has equalized us in so many ways. And that's
a great thing.
It's like we're all like on the same level now.
Amen.
Yeah. Again, obviously we are lucky because we all still have our jobs and live in a house and we have food. And that's like, definitely this disease is, like really hurting a lot of people who aren't as secure in their jobs or homes like that. Yeah.
For the record, we're anti-virus on this podcast.
Yes.
This is not a pro-virus podcast.
We've heard the talks. We've heard people writing it about us. They're saying they like the virus. We just want to be clear. We do not like the virus.
We do not like the virus.
We do not endorse the anti-virus.
We did not cause the virus.
We did not cause the virus. Yes, we
anti.
There's nothing wrong with being a positive person and seeing the silver lining of a negative situation.
That's what it is.
I really feel. I saw someone. I just feel like whenever basically. Even when my dad was fucking dying, we still like laughed and laughed a lot. And there are a lot of really good memories from that time. So to think that just because something bad is happening, there can't be any good is like, no, that's not, you can't live that way. That's because then so.
Yeah.
No. Christopher.
It's
almost time to go. Do you have any last thoughts for the people? Anything to leave the people with?
No, I never do. I have to go make chicken parm for my mom.
Okay, look at
and
that.
And that's my life
also,
now.
Wait a minute, Chris. You have the most groomed hair I've seen on a man in quarantine.
Oh, you know what?
How are you doing this?
I have only cut my own hair for the past 4 years. Because I was like, I was like, this is crazy that I'm paying someone to do this, and it doesn't seem like it would be that hard. And that was also what I was doing with my eyebrows. I would get them threaded because they were crazy. So like 5 years ago, I was like, I can't believe I'm going every week to pay this woman to do this. So I just started doing both things on my own, and now I'm like, I'm ready for this to go.
Do you do threading on your own?
No,
tweeze.
That would be wild.
maintain a tweeze now because they get crazy in like literally 3 days. But
I stopped threading like a few years ago because I was like, I can't keep up this routine. It's insane.
And it hurts so much.
It hurts so much.
It hurts so much. And also I get so paranoid that they're not going to make them even that it was causing me such panic to go. Cause no.
They do a different job every time.
Yeah.
That's it.
If they I'd be like, just clean it up.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. And then
when you're a person who sees eyebrows all day, you see them differently than other people. You're all about the brow. You're not like looking at the whole face and you're not thinking about the whole picture. You're just a crazy brow sculptor and you lose all sight of everything.
You lose.
It's crazy. These people should be taken down. No.
Just to be clear, we are pro threading people. We like the threading people.
Yes.
No, I like that, Chris. So do you shave the sides and then do you trim the top as well? Can we see the top?
The top. Oh, so the top's like really long right now. It's just like in a little braid thing.
Oh, so you could, that's smart. So you could keep letting that grow.
Which I usually don't do, but while I'm home, I'm like, who gives a shit?
Totally.
But if I'll take it because it's
no, you don't have
crazy.
To take it out. Oh, okay.
Because it's a little.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Because
give it a little trim. But yeah, and then I shave this. Shaving the back of your head, that is a learned skill. Okay.
Yeah, we turn around so we can see the.
If you're listening to this,
wow.
Go to our YouTube.
Right, it's not too bad.
That was pretty good.
I want to watch this.
So
wow. Are you doing your dad's hair too, or is?
He's like mostly bald, so he makes constant jokes about it.
Oh yeah, that's a classic dad joke. Take a couple inches off of mine too.
Yeah, exactly. Although my mom, I've offered to like help cut hers because she keeps complaining about it, but I don't think she trusts me.
Well, it's not only that, but yeah, it's like the complaining is kind of part of the fun. She doesn't want the complaining to go away. What would we talk about?
I did use because I had to order wigs for work, and I used like her hairspray and her brush, and then the next day she was like, "You can keep that brush," and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I've never seen anyone use more hairspray in my life," and I was like, "Number one, it was literally a fraction of what I normally do." Usually I'm like unloading a full can. So it was like
You have your own little hole in the ozone layer. Just
yeah, I'm the reason for
Oh my god, this was so fun. Thanks for coming on and hanging with us.
Please,
truly.
thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all.
Where can people find you?
Fat Carrie Bradshaw on Instagram, Fat Carrie Bradshaw on Twitter because they don't have enough characters.
Ugh, stupid Twitter.
And just go there.
One of my favorite Instagram accounts to follow. I just
thank you.
Like almost everything you've ever posted. Not
almost.
There was a couple.
I have notes. I would love. Thank you.
We got to take a quick picture.
Oh, yeah.
So find your light, and I'll take a picture.
Okay. Thank you for the warning.
I have a ring light somewhere. I forgot it.
All right, 1, 2. All right, great job.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, bye, Chris. We
Thank
love
you,
you.
Chris.
Happy
Love
Mother's
you.
Day.
Nice meeting you, Chris.
Mother's Day.
You too.
Bye. Enjoy the sheep farm. Well, that was an absolute delight.
What a treat.
So fun. I love the guests we've been having. I just feel
the
I'm
best.
The audio recording.
I did not record my audio.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
We'll survive another week. It's fine.
No worries.
I didn't know that we were doing that.
Chris didn't either. So, I mean, Chris didn't have a mic either. So,
it's fine.
No worries.
But can we still use Alyssa's?
Sure. It'll sound weird, though, if it's like just her and mine, and then you guys sound worse. It's almost better to just use it all.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I fucked it
That's
up.
okay.
No worries.
It's
Okay.
fine. It's honestly not that bad. Like I've listened. I know that you're a audio snob, May, which you've.
Does that mean that we don't get to use the mics? Like that?
No. It records the mics just into Zoom, and so it's just like slightly more compressed, like quality wise, versus if you sent me the recorded file onto your computer.
Got it.
Okay.
So it's still good with the mic. It's just not.
Okay, good. So we still get to use the mic. So it's not as bad as pre-mic. It's not like underwater sound.
No, because I've listened to it and I've listened to our podcast and I thought it sounded good when we were both using the mics, but I guess I didn't realize that there was another.
Ow!
You okay?
Yep, sorry. Okay, we are up to 44 subscribers on our thing, and our first episode is almost at 1,000 views. Not bad.
Wow, really? Pretty good.
Great.
That's YouTube's hard to get traction. So anything
it really
that's
is hard, huh?
It's hard. So anything that's a 1,000 or
I wonder why people keep going back to that one because we have.
I think it's just the first one. I think it's.
Is it hard for even you to get traction with like all? Because you obviously have a lot of.
It's very hard.
Stuff,
it's the hardest place to get traction. It's just different. I mean, like the most views I have on any of my videos is 100,000, and compared to any other outlet, that's like
that's nothing. It's crazy because like Twitter, you get like millions, right?
But it's just but YouTube's just a different beast. But I really do feel that YouTube favors this kind of thing. So
interesting.
I think it favors longer video, conversational video.
You're right.
I have a thought, Anosh. For YouTube, how hard would it be to not have the song in it? I wonder if.
Super easy.
All right. I say we lose the song on YouTube because we might.
Is that more YouTube style just to go?
Yeah, I think because you might, with audio, I think you're coming to that. You're listening to a podcast, you expect the song. But I wonder with YouTube, if because it's visual, I think we should get them to see stay on our face longer. It's easier for people to click out on YouTube would be my gut. Let's try it.
Yeah, because like the first 30 seconds is taken up by that. And that's interesting. I feel like you're probably right because YouTube is like, that's just like the style of YouTube. You want to just.
And it's visual. You want to, if you're going to listen to it, I think you're fine with a song because everything's just being listened to at that point. But on YouTube, I think you want to see our face. But
that's true. No, I think that's right.
I think you could, if you were to where are you putting the song? Is it at the beginning each time?
It's just at the beginning, so I can just not.
Another thing you could do is slap it like in the mid, like if there were a good, maybe before the guest or something.
Do you guys mind if I go pee really quickly?
Go.
No, we could just drop it entirely. I don't even think we need it. It was just kind of at the start. It was like, it felt like we need something there to make it feel like crazy in bed, But
what if we just do I think it's worth a shot. One of my main notes I would get at when I worked at a digital brand for a while that I feel I learned is just like thumb stopping. And I know it's different on YouTube, but basically like you just want something to stop the thumb. You want to get someone to stop for 3 seconds. And so, basically what we really should do in an ideal world is like, I should make cool. Well, YouTube's just weird. I think we're fine, but I think let's try it without the song and see what happens.
Yeah, I think so too. I like that.
I wonder if it starts automatically though, because I also think it could totally work before we bring the guest on. If we wanted to keep it, we go, now we're going to bring our guest on, put the song in there.
Oh yeah, that could work too.
If you felt like it, but oh my God, Rosebud has Rosebud has a Comedy Central bit with 2.1 million views. So it's.
It is weird. YouTube is a weird beast. And then like some videos of just like a dude talking about like an XLR cable or something is like, it's got so many views and it's like 30 minutes of just a dude talking. It's just nuts.
That's why I like it.
That's what I'm into. Okay. It just turns me on. That's
I think that's why I have confidence in the YouTube eventually. Cause I'm like, I do think that it favors long video and it would be if we got enough, it would be it's so easy to monetize, once you get to a certain point.
Yes, it is like the easiest to monetize because it's just like
you don't need a sponsor.
true.
It's just you hit the button, monetize, and then you just start making money. So
that's so cool. Yeah.
Okay. So Anosh,
hit him.
we want to pivot because we don't